Hello, welcome to my first YouTube video. So on this YouTube channel, it's also going to be all things running, and we have the BigHalf half marathon coming up tomorrow. So this was supposed to be, as you can see from where the video has been put, this is supposed to be a Chicago prep series, but I am now 6 out of 12 weeks through my prep. Obviously didn't start it, so we're starting now. And I thought that I will start off with how I fuel and the entire race day, as much as I can record, because I won't be bringing my phone around with me, of the BigHalf half marathon, which is in London. So fueling up, obviously starts the day before, so we're carb loading today. This morning I've had some eggs, sourdough, I've had a Cliff protein bar from Whole Foods because I've never had that before, so I thought I'd have that, a bit rogue, but whatever. And now I'll start to show you the actual food that I'm eating. So this is actually meal 2, but first meal on here is going to be, we've got some chicken here, avocado, loads of rice, and then some broccoli. So this is going to be the second meal. It's just after midday. I'll probably have either 1 or 2 more meals today. I'm not really decided yet. Definitely focusing on carbs. I've got my staple pre-race meal that I'm going to have later, and I will talk to you about my race strategy and everything else then as well. Shakeout run done. Just did 5k just to keep the legs moving. I haven't really done much today. We've had a little walk around London, but I've just about hit 10,000 steps, so it was good just to get the legs moving a little bit. But since my last meal, I haven't actually recorded anything, but I haven't had any more meals. I've just had some snacks and stuff, so we've had like some crisps and some chocolate and stuff like that. But I'm about to go home and make my pre-race meal. Now this meal I've had before pretty much every single race. This is my night before meal, not my pre-run meal of the morning. That's also been the same for ages. That's one of the main things you need to do day before and even the morning of. Get food that sits well in your stomach, high in carbs, you know works well for you. I've had mine dialed in now from doing it for the last couple of years, and try and find yours as well. So race day fueling strategy. So I'm not going to say about my pre-race meal. I'll show you that when we have it tomorrow morning. But in terms of actual race intra-workout sort of fueling, I'm going to have 2 gels with me, and I'll have a banana. I'll have the banana about 20 minutes before. It's just something that I found. I prefer having a banana rather than another gel before, just because I know I'm going to have loads of gels. I like to have some decent food in me before. That sits quite nicely. And then we're going to have 2 gels, one at mile, I'm in miles now. One in mile 4, one at mile 7. Sits pretty well, like I said, every sort of 7.5k. I like to have mine with some salt tabs as well, mixed in just to prevent me from cramping. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's been working well for me at the minute. So night before, for probably about a year, this has been the same thing I've had every single time. Most of my races are in London, so we always come down to Jess's, stay at her mum's, and her mum always cooks the same spag bowl every single time, which is just amazing. So now when I go home, if I have it at my house, I'll have it. If I do a race abroad or in a different location, I'll still have it. So it's here. So we've got loads of pasta or spaghetti. We've then got lamb mince. This is 20% lamb mince, so a bit higher in fat. And then we've got some garlic bread here, gluten-free. Not for me, that's for Jess, but because we have gluten-free, it also sits a little bit better in my stomach, I feel. That's more of just a preference. So this meal keeps my carbs very high, but topped up right the way through to tomorrow morning when I then have my pre-race meal. And yeah, it works well for me. It might not work well for you. Give it a go, see what happens. This is going to be the last thing I eat today, and then the next thing you'll see will be tomorrow morning pre-race meal. So it is the morning of the race. It's about just before 6 a.m. Like I said, run nutrition before is always the same. So we've got 2 bagels with some peanut butter and jam over all of them. We've got our coffee there. Always have my coffee with my food. Some people have the coffee, go to the toilet, then have food after. But I find that doesn't really sit well because then I have all that food sat in my stomach. So yeah, I don't really like that. And then we've got some water with electrolytes in. So we'll get all this down now. We've got about half an hour to let that digest and try and go to the toilet before we then leave. And then I will catch up with you once we are at the race venue. So that is the BigHalf 2024 done. So obviously I didn't bring my phone around like I previously said. So we've got a few videos here from Jess and my parents that just recorded little bits here and there. So this is one of the starting waves. And then we've got me finishing. So the video of my dad recorded and then the video that my mum recorded is after. Just sort of gives you a bit of an idea of what the sort of crowds were looking like and what the finish line was looking like, which is really nice because obviously when you train on your own so much, it's nice to have crowds and stuff cheering you on. It just makes you run that little bit faster, and obviously that's what running is all about. So obviously I've got some like general videos here. This is what I was taking just on the finish line whilst we were waiting for Jess. So my race went really well actually. I was a little bit unsure if I would be able to get under 120, just because obviously I'm about 6 weeks into my Chicago Marathon training. I've done a lot of high week in terms of mileage, which I haven't never done before. So 6 weeks at 120 Ks plus. The last marathon prep I only got to 120k on 1 week. So I thought that my legs would be holding a lot of fatigue. So I went out with the idea of just starting at that pace and seeing what happens. And it felt really good. I got to about 17, 18 Ks and that's where I really started to dig. But I also knew that I could, it was like in my grasp, I knew I could do it. So I sort of had that little bit of motivation to keep me going. But yeah, 24-second PB, which I was really happy with. A successful race in total, a very good sort of pre-run indicator of where my fitness is at. And then obviously the video on now is just Jess finishing as well. So stayed behind, waited for Jess to come through the finish line, got our medals and t-shirts and stuff together. She absolutely smashed it as well. So yeah, apart from that, you see her crossing the line now. Great day. Little bit hot towards the end, so for those later runners probably went a little bit harder, but for me it was all good.